It's the Basement Tapes. We were off for a couple of weeks there, but here we are. We're back. And as you'll see over my shoulder, it's day 100. It's day 100 for me. I don't know when the rest of you are calling this pandemic to have begun. Some people say it's when the World Health Organization said it was a pandemic. A lot of people seem to say that it was when the sports league shut down. For me, it's actually a boring explanation. My family and I were in the United States ahead of March break just because of our schedule. When we landed back in Canada, we began our 14-day quarantine. And that is when I put day one up on that board behind me. And originally, I just intended it as a way of counting our days of self isolation because the government had said if you're returning from out of the country, you have to isolate for 14 days. So I didn't think it would get much higher than 14. And here it is at 100. It's interesting because, again, all of us are going to measure this differently. And for a lot of us, life probably has gotten back to something quite close to normal, or at least it soon will be getting back to something quite close to normal. If you're in BC, if you're in the Atlantic provinces, you're in pretty good shape. Here in the center of the universe, well, things actually look better than they have, but we'll see where this ultimately goes. What I'm wondering about, and this is where I think we will see what happens, is when politics starts getting back to normal. We have been spending a lot of time in recent weeks talking about things other than the pandemic. Hopefully, that doesn't prove premature. Hopefully, there's not a big second wave or a resurgence of this, and then we all just feel like idiots for not having thought about it in all this intervening time. But I am starting to wonder if over the course of the summer, if issues like police reform, if issues like racism, if issues like the economy, issues like our relationship with China start to take more and more prevalence in the news as Canada's cases of the virus, at least, continue to come down. Other parts of the world are still struggling, but here in Canada, touch wood, we've been doing okay. If that's the case, what will I be watching for? Well, look, on a personal level, I want to know if my kids can go back to school in the fall. I want to know if my wife can go back to work on a normal basis. I'm wondering if I'm ever going to get to go into my own office again. But for my line of work, watch for the political polls. Almost every politician in this country still has sky high numbers. That's not going to last. Some of them are probably going to be able to ride their pandemic boost all the way into the next election, but not all of them. And it will be very interesting to see who wins and who loses when pandemic shifts slowly, ever so slowly, back into simply politics.